Yes, sir. Welcome back to Real Spit. And we back right on time in God's divine timing. And that's the topic of the day. You can't control God's divine timing. What's meant for you is meant for you. If you understood that, it's written, this life that we live in, it's already written. Certain decisions that you have to make it through and to get to these certain parts of your story. Now, saying that it is written doesn't mean that every single detail is locked and key because every action, has a reaction. And every decision that we make either takes us steps closer to the goals that we hope to achieve or take us a few steps back from getting to these goals that we want to achieve. But what you can't do is you can't control God's divine timing. That's just something that you can't do. When it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. But what you do have to do is move in a way in which you manifest what you want, put it out there into the world, put that energy into the atmosphere, and then you have to take all the proper steps into getting there. Now, a lot of people like to use the idea of divine timing and meaning that they can just sit back and wait for the things that they want and that one day it's just going to happen, but it don't work like that. And God is going to give you what you ask for, especially if you ask for these things in detail. But just asking for it, that's not enough. You have to take the actions towards getting what you want. And you also have to make sacrifices. That's one of the most important things in life is you have to be willing to sacrifice certain things in order to get what you want. That's a problem that a lot of us have is not understanding, making those sacrifices. That could be vices that we have, that could be negative ways of thinking that we have that could, be pushing us further and further away from what we want. That could be negative habits, that we have and that we hold on to. That a lot of us hold on to because of, stress that we have or, different excuses that we give ourselves and why fall into some of our negative vices, that we do. That's one of the biggest, parts of it is being able to make those sacrifices. I learned so much when I fasted. That forced me to put myself in a place where I was really dependent on prayer and was really dependent on, that higher power. And during that time, making the sacrifice of food, making the sacrifice of drinking, water, any type of liquids, but then going deep into my spirit and tapping into places that I didn't even know existed helped me to, have like that greater understanding of what sacrifice, meant. Something as simple as sacrificing food is not as simple, even though it sounds like it is. But for a lot of us, that's one of our biggest downfalls. If you can control what's going in your mouth, then that allows you to control what's coming out of your mouth. Pause on all of that. But on a real level, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's just super important, to be able to look deep into yourself, find aspects of yourself that you need to change, and also ask certain questions, that you might not, get the answer to right then and there. But a lot of times they come in different signs. Tell me if someone was right. Soon after, God will start putting those different signs like right in my face, showing me that some of these things were things that were meant for me, and some of the things that were in my life were things that I didn't need. Now, a lot of times what we do is since we don't get the answers that we want verbally or they don't come to us right away, then we ignore those signs. And ignoring those signs will definitely, slow down that divine timing, that we're wishing for when it comes to certain things. I always say that when you wish for something and you manifest something, you're going to get it, but you never know when you're going to get it. It might not be for a year. It might not be for 5 years. That's, one of the most difficult parts of making these sacrifices and even having faith. Faith is knowing that something's going to happen without knowing that is going to happen, which is the most difficult thing because, they say hindsight is 2020. So like after the fact, after you do, receive what you wanted, what you asked for, and things like that, everything all makes sense. While you're going through the process, almost nothing makes sense. You have to be able to move knowing that faith is going to lead you, to this place that you want to be. But you can never rush that divine timing, because it's going to come when it's meant to come. And if you understood that it was written, then you would understand that. And if you believe that, then you would understand that. Yes, we have to do certain things and move in a certain way to get what we want. We don't control when the things that we want are going to come to us. And you have to just trust in, that divine timing, that things are going to hit right at the right time. You just have to. And that's real spit from your boy Spit.